Tales of Herding Gods Episode 82. In the previous episode, chaos engulfed Heaven Wave City. As Dutian Devil King descended, his power shattered mountains and tore the city apart, turning it into a sea of blood and bones. Even the combined might of countless sects couldn't stop him. Amid the destruction, Qin Mu, Hu Linger, and the wounded dragon Qilin fled for their lives, only to be separated by the violent shockwaves of battle. In the depths of the forest, Qin Mu stumbled upon a familiar enemy, Long Jiaonan of the Dragon Rider sect, who revealed a strange secret of her own. Once thought to be a man, she shed her skin and emerged as a woman, her body renewed and her power restored. Caught between confusion and danger, Qin Mu barely escaped her deadly pursuit using the last of his teleportation divine arts. As he fled through the sky, he witnessed a terrifying sight: tens of thousands of heavenly devils pouring into the mortal world through a rift above Heaven Wave City, their corpses raining down to expand the Devil King's altar. Now, with the gates of Dutian wide open and disaster spreading across the land, Qin Mu realizes he may have unleashed a catastrophe far greater than anything he ever imagined. And the story continues. Long Jiaonan also hesitated for a moment, and the vortex above Heaven Wave City had already turned into a passage to another world. From this swirling abyss, countless heavenly devils poured out, their power growing stronger with every wave. The sky darkened as the horde descended like a storm. On a towering altar stood the Dutian Devil King, his 8 arms outstretched, voice shaking the heavens as he roared, "Leave, my people of Dutian, leave our crumbling world and march toward this new one. There are beautiful women, endless food, and weaklings ripe for conquest." Beneath him lay Long Jiaonan's father, crushed beneath the Devil King's feet, and even the mighty flood dragon he raised was pinned helplessly to the ground. Around them, the sect's other masters had already fallen, beheaded, their heads raised high in the Devil King's hands. Despair filled Long Jiaonan's heart. Was the Dragon Rider sect truly finished? Meanwhile, the heavenly devils continued to rain down upon the fleeing soldiers. Amid the chaos, Qin Mu was struck from the sky, crashing hard into the earth. Around him, 6 or 7 devils landed heavily and began to rise, their monstrous shapes looming over him. But Qin Mu was no stranger to such horrors. He had faced the heavenly devil horde before in the Great Ruins, and he remembered how to kill them. With calm precision, he darted toward the nearest devil, blade flashing as he beheaded it in a single stroke. Another devil lashed its scorpion-like tail toward him, the black tip nearly catching his neck. Qin Mu thrust his fingers forward, his junior protector sword shot out, piercing the tail in mid-strike. With his other hand, he formed the heavenly devil Freedom Mudra, ripping the soul from another devil's body and crushing it to pieces. Then came a roar. A bull-headed heavenly devil pointed at him, shouting in a strange tongue, "You Nala, Maya bi yu lu ji now di di nuo ja hong," a challenge. Qin Mu grinned. "Come, bring it on." His vital chi burst forth as he activated the Overlord Body 3 elixir technique. The bull-headed devil charged, dragging a 10-yard blade that sparked against the ground before swinging it down in a devastating arc. But before it could strike, a massive shadow crashed from above, a giant snake, flattening the bull-headed devil in an instant. Long Jiaonan had returned, her serpent sweeping across the battlefield like a living iron pillar, crushing devils by the dozen. Even with her greater power, Long Jiaonan found herself overwhelmed as endless devils poured from the sky. Qin Mu, too, was besieged. Hu Linger, his companion, summoned a whirling tornado to shield them. Yet still the devils forced their way through. The black tide seemed endless, countless devils descending like flies, blotting out the heavens. Cold sweat streamed down Qin Mu's face. "Patriarch said I must be able to settle disasters I create myself," he muttered grimly, "but it seems I can't this time." Then suddenly, a dazzling light blazed from the southern sky. At first, it was faint, then brighter, until the whole land glowed beneath it. The light cut through the darkness, and wherever it passed, heavenly devils fell headless from the air. Qin Mu looked up, and was struck with awe. The light was made of swords, countless swords, flying in formation, impossible to number. At their center spun thousands of sword pellets, each one like a miniature moon. From them, streams of blades burst forth, weaving into radiant patterns. Each sword formed deadlier than the last. The sword group was vast beyond comprehension, millions of swords shining together, bright enough to sweep away the darkness itself. Under their assault, the devils were annihilated. The sky, once black with their swarm, cleared as corpses rained to the ground. In the heart of Heaven Wave City, Dutian Devil King's expression twisted in fury. He roared and began forcing his true body through the portal. The air trembled as a gigantic foot emerged from the other world, wrapped in devil flames that burned the heavens crimson. But the sword group turned its focus upon him, descending like a flood of divine light. With a thunderous hum, Dutian Devil King conjured a colossal black barrier, covering the sky above the city. The clash was deafening. Millions of swords struck the barrier at once, a sound so fierce that men and devils alike screamed in pain. Qin Mu clutched his ears, deafened by the sheer force. All around him, devils writhed, overwhelmed by the noise. Across the river in Martial Order County, Eternal Peace's soldiers struggled to hold their ground. Even at such distance, the echo of that sound made their heads ring. A white-haired general stared across the water. Imperial Preceptor, he gasped. A great expert has appeared on the opposite shore. The Eternal Peace Imperial Preceptor stood calmly at the front, eyes on the glowing battlefield. Yes, he said, his power is not far from mine, perhaps greater than the 3 old monsters who ambushed me before. The general frowned. But who summoned this Devil King? Has the southern border fallen so far as to call upon such horrors? The Imperial Preceptor shook his head. With me here, Dutian Devil King cannot descend. The one who summoned him has, in truth, done a great service. Heaven Wave City is already destroyed. Our soldiers need not bleed for it. If it were me, I would make the same choice for their sake. The general sighed. And yet, that is why people call you a man of the devil path. The preceptor smiled faintly. They say that because I threaten their interests. My merit and fault cannot be judged by the living, only by those 1,000 years from now. To me, they are already dead. As he walked across the river toward the ruined city, Dutian Devil King let out a guttural growl. The flesh of his 8 palms tore under the relentless storm of swords. His body, summoned through Qin Mu's weak power, was merely wood, far too frail to withstand the swordmaster's might. He looked up, and saw the preceptor approaching. Then came a single sword light. It flashed brighter than lightning, swift as thought. Within that blade was an entire world, a profound truth of the sword path. Fierce and pure, to witness it was to glimpse perfection itself. And then, his head was gone. The Devil King's 4-faced, 12-eyed head rolled from his neck. The preceptor lowered his sword and walked calmly into Heaven Wave City. The devils guarding the altar shrieked and charged toward him. But in moments, their world collapsed. The Devil King's massive corpse crumbled to dust. The black barrier shattered and vanished into thin air. High above, the countless flying swords spiraled back into their sword pellets, which hovered like tiny moons before gathering together once more. From the distance, a wooden chest flew through the air. Its lid opened, and one by one, the sword pellets returned inside, clinking softly like raindrops. The preceptor watched it in silence, lost in thought. With the altar destroyed, the summoning halted. The vortex above the city shrank rapidly, and the half-emerged leg of the Devil King was forced back into the void, vanishing amid a distant, furious roar. Outside the city, Qin Mu gazed at the wooden chest descending from the sky. A flicker of recognition crossed his face. That chest looks familiar, he murmured. It's just like the one in the village smithy, filled with silver pellets. Granny C said they weren't sword pellets, only silver, and that Grandpa Mute couldn't be that rich. He ran after it, watching as the chest drifted down and disappeared into the forest. When he reached the place, he saw an old man in plain cotton clothes. On his back was a blacksmith's furnace, and in his hand, the wooden chest. His face was weathered with time, lined with hardship, but his eyes were kind. When Qin Mu ran up to him, the elder turned and smiled broadly. There was no tongue in his mouth. And that wraps up this episode. In this part, we saw a desperate and chaotic battle as the Dutian Devil King opened a passage between worlds, unleashing countless heavenly devils upon Heavenwave City. Qin Mu fought bravely, using every skill and technique he knew, but the sheer number of enemies seemed impossible to overcome. Just as all hope appeared lost, an awe-inspiring storm of flying swords descended from the southern sky, millions of blades moving in perfect harmony, destroying the devils and halting the invasion. At the heart of this powerful sword formation stood a mysterious master whose strength rivaled even that of the Eternal Peace Imperial Preceptor. The two great powers ultimately confronted the Dutian Devil King, whose wooden vessel body could not withstand their might. With one brilliant stroke, the Imperial Preceptor's sword severed the Devil King's head, ending the chaos in Heavenwave City. The black barrier shattered, the vortex to another world closed, and the devils were wiped away. Then, from the heavens, a wooden chest appeared, its lid opening to reclaim the countless sword pellets that had wrought such destruction. When Qin Mu saw it, he realized it looked exactly like the old wooden chest from his village's smithy. The one Grandpa Mute had once claimed held nothing but silver pellets. Curious and astonished, Qin Mu chased after it and finally found an old blacksmith carrying the same chest. The elder turned to him with a warm smile, revealing that he had no tongue. This episode not only revealed the terrifying might of the heavenly devils and the Dutian Devil King, but also hinted at the mysterious and powerful origins of Grandpa Mute, one of Qin Mu's guardians from the village. If you enjoyed this episode or found it interesting, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the newest episodes following Qin Mu's extraordinary journey. Thank you for watching, and see you again in the next episode.